guys, it's Joshy here and I am back with another ways to use video. Now before we start, please do remember these are sets that I came up with, but it doesn't mean they're completely original. And yes, there are 10 today, but I had to stop myself. But anyway, today we are looking at the jet Pokemon Octillery. I think is a really cool water type Pokemon, but does get outclassed in areas. But anyway, let's look at the Pokemon itself. We'll start with the abilities. His first ability is Suction Cup, an ability that stops you being forced out by like Roar, Dragon Tail, Whirlwind, and things like that. It also does help you catch Pokemon while fishing, but we are looking at the battle aspect at the moment. Its much better ability, in my opinion, Sniper, is fantastic. It boosts the damage from critical hits from the standard 1.5 damage to 2.25 damage. This means that a critical hit, just a normal critical hit, will do more damage than a standard super effective move. So that is quite good. Now on top of that, then we have the hidden ability Moody. Now if you do Smogon like I do, Moody is actually banned. I would like to see it unbanned and only banned in a set we're going to see. But what it does, it gives you a +2 boost in a random stat and drops one of your stats by one stage. So after a couple of turns, you're going to be looking quite nice in stat boosts, but it is all random what stats get picked. Now, before we get into it as well, we're going to look at its stats. Now, really, it has a great base stat of 480 overall, which is really nice. Now, our speed is only sitting at 45, which is our worst stat. But then special defense, and HP are all sitting at 75. And then both attack and special attack are 105, which is kind of crazy because it allows the idea of sending in an Octillery and no one knows what they're going to be hit with. Because this Pokemon has fantastic move coverage overall for many different ideas, which is why we had 10 sets. And as I said before, I had to stop myself at 10. But anyway, let's start looking at the sets. Now these are in no particular order and the countdown is just to know how many are left to go. So with number 10, we are looking at, as I said before about the Moody, we're going to start with this one. Now this is the general Moody set. We run with Substitute and Protect, and then here you can see we've got Sludge Bomb and Liquidation. Now the reason I run those two is because Sludge Bomb can hit grass Pokemon, which is quite nice, and Liquidation is coverage. Then we've got both coverage for special attack and physical attack. We have max HP, max speed with a serious nature, so we have nothing dropped. Then we have, as we said, Moody with our leftovers here, so we continuously recover. Now, I really like this set. It's fun to use. It can be frustrating, and if you're waiting to try and get yourself set up, it can be a little detrimental with the timer because this game had to have it dropped. Now, some of these battles have been sped up just slightly because they are longer like this one. So as you can see here, the idea is to allow yourself to get a couple of free turn setups. Now, if you aren't a fast Pokemon like Octillery isn't too much, it can be a little harder to get the second turn off. We also get the speed drop, which was a bit of a negative to me. But he's going to go for a Sunny Day, so that actually gives me that free turn virtually anyway. Because now I'm going to go for the Substitute. So behind the Substitute, I can recover, I can use Protect, and by recover I mean the leftovers. But it's going to give me a lot more turns. So now I get another boost, so my defense got +2, but now my attack got -1. So it can be a little bad in terms of looking to go for one or the other, which is why I like carrying both a physical and special moves. So if one stat's been a bit unlucky to get a couple of drops, you can use the other. Now, as you can see, I just went for Liquidation, safe behind here. The only problem is that the sun is up, so I'm doing less. So my attack then went up 2, my special defense went down 1. So to me, it's quite a fun ability to use, and it's only on Pokemon generally, this and I believe Smeagol, which don't get to see the light of day too much. So anyway, I'm able to take him down after that boost, which is really nice, and get more recovery. Now, if you are lucky enough, you might get the boosts in the perfect area. You may get the drops in the areas you don't want to see. So there you can see I lost an attack that I gained 2 last turn, but after a couple of turns, you're generally going to be sitting higher. As you can see here, I may only have 4 pluses, but I have no negatives because they ended up actually cancelling each other out. So we're doing okay. Generally here, I just went for the Liquidation. I thought we should be able to hit alright against this thing. Unfortunately, he's bulky and the sun is up, but I get a Spadef drop, and for some reason he's just going to explode, which generally I didn't care too much for, and I thought it was a silly move, but this is the problem with versing computers. You are going to get some different things, and some sets that should work out really well or that. I had the weirdest sets coming against me, not against this one, but against others that just countered me. It was so stupid how long it took me to get some actually decent sets to work. And last thing, I have Cinderace, so realistically I've had the type advantage here, but it wouldn't matter too much either way because I'm able to keep blocking. And apparently he's just going to go for the Focus Blast, so he's obviously a Blaze Cinderace there. And as you can see, we're getting more boosts, more drops, but overall we can do alright. And thanks to all the boosts we've had, this is doing so little. So I went for another sub. Here I'm just trying to really show off how the Moody set really works in terms of you can really push yourself forward. And if you haven't got the boosts in the right area in terms of attack, you can just keep yourself defending and that, you know, going that way. If you ever wanted to as well, you could actually swap out possibly either Protect or Substitute, but I'd swap Protect out. You could possibly run Rest as well, so once your defenses are boosted up, but I think running both Protect and Substitute is a much better idea. So as you can see now, we're +4 in defense. Even though special defense is only +1, we're handling things quite nicely, and I'm able to start concentrating on trying to take this thing out. Even +1 is just enough to really get on the nerves of an opponent, especially when your HP is maxed out. And unfortunately, the sun is still around, so it's costing me. But you know, that's fine. And we get more boosts, even though it doesn't really matter. Special attack up, defense down. So our defense isn't as good as it was last turn, but then this thing goes for struggle. So we're either a Scarfed or a Spec set. But either way, it doesn't matter because with all of this, I'm easily going to be taking him out. So you can see this, although I had the type advantage in this battle, the Moody sets can work, and I've seen them work in a lot of stages. Sorry, Moody is also on Glalie, is who I was thinking of. Anyway, moving on to the next one, our next Octillery set. I quite like this one. So we're going to be running with Sludge Bomb, Supersonic, Fire Blast, and Hydro Pump. So we're really using some strong moves here. Now, a lot of people don't realise that Octillery gets access to fire moves like Fire Blast and Flamethrower, and Supersonic is an egg move, which is the key to this set. So we are running a Timid Nature, max speed, max attack. The last little bit just popped in HP. And here we're using the Suction Cups to make sure we can't get swapped out if we get what we want, which is a boost from our Blunder policy. This is why we're running Supersonic. Its accuracy is only 55%, so we have nearly 50% chance to miss, thus giving our Blunder policy an activation, which is virtually the use of agility, and now my speed would be doubled. So from whatever it's sitting at, my speed is doubled, putting me actually faster than majority of the Pokemon running around. Now I was really happy here coming in against a Bomber Snow because, I mean, I'm carrying Fire Blast, so I'm either going to hit and kill or I'm going to miss and get a speed boost. And I actually get the hit and kill. Now the funny thing is this actually took me a long time to record this because I got battles where I did fine and this Octillery killed, but I didn't get to show off my Blunder policy activation, which sucked because I continuously hit Supersonic. Always. I barely missed Supersonic, and the only times I missed it was against like a banded, like, you know, anybody who can take me out in one hit. So it was so frustrating. As you can see here, I hit Supersonic again after a belly drum. So I was like, great, if I just missed, I can take him out next turn, but no. So anyway, he's confused. Luckily for me, he hits himself in confusion, which takes out his Ice Face, but that doesn't matter too much because I'm running on a special sweeper. Now, you could easily run a physical sweeper as well with this, and I finally miss a move, so my Blunder policy activates, because you get access to things like Gunk Shot and Bounce and things that aren't 100% accuracy, plus you can still run your Supersonic. But I thought here I wanted to run a special one. Now, a little thing, as we'll see in a minute, I also would suggest Blizzard is another option you can run on. You can cover that instead of Fire Blast if you wish, which does then give you coverage to take out a lot of your Dragon Pokemon in competitive. But I like carrying the Fire Blast one because it's a little bit like surprising. Plus here I can set up the Sun. Now the Sun does affect me a little bit if I wanted to go for a Hydro Pump, but it gets rid of this damaging turn from Hail, which is a little bit of a problem to me. Now, the reason as well I swapped out a move is because Sludge Bomb gives me two things that I think this set benefits from. One, we have a 100% accuracy move. So if you have to make a hit, and I mean have to make the hit, then you've got a move which is guaranteed. You don't have to play a gamble. The second thing is right here, we can go for Max Ooze and Dynamax and boost our own special attack, allowing us to become more of a sweeper now our speed is boosted. So it is quite interesting. I generally would suggest, if possible, saving the Dynamaxing till after you get the activation on your Blunder policy, because then you can go for all the boosts, and because your moves are 100% accurate while Dynamax. But it depends on the situation to the battle. On to our next one, counting down. This is number 8, or our third one, which sounds weird, but we did start with number 10. We are running Substitute, Thunderwave, Octazooka, and Skitter Smack. Now, Skitter Smack is a tutor move, which I really do like, but I would like to point out, I believe Octazooka should be 100% accuracy without being too strong. We are running a Sassy Nature here because we're running max HP, and then we're running a little bit in defense. I think it's 100 in defense and about 156 in special defense. The reason being we want both defenses to be over 100, and then we're running with leftovers. Now, we do have the Sniper ability. The reason we are bringing the Sniper ability is literally just the fact that if we do get a crit, we can make use of it. Now, this one again is sped up. It is a bit of a longer battle, but I really did enjoy this. Unfortunately, both the first two Pokemon did really stunt me in this set, so I'm just going for the Skitter Smack. The reason I did is because I thought I'd just get the damage off. Now, I can go for Substitute, which I will the second turn, and he goes for a skill swap, so I'm no longer Sniper, but I don't mind carrying that Synchronize. Now, the reason he does stunt me a little bit, sorry, I didn't go for that, I just wanted the Skitter Smack to get rid of him, is because I would generally like to go for a Thunder Wave, but I didn't want to be paralyzed, and I knew I would either by Synchronize or by Magic Bounce. But I take him out. I don't know why he was running that item and didn't swap, but that's fine. I'm going to get Hydro Pumped there. It's going to do a fair chunk of damage, and then it's a critical hit there, so I was like, okay, cool. I may live one behind here, I'm not sure, but either way, I should be able to deal with this. The only problem with this thing, Vaporeon, is I can't risk using Octazooka because he's probably going to absorb the hit and recover. So I'm like, great! I'm stuck not using it. I do go for the Thunder Wave though here. I'm at least able to paralyze this one and deal with him on that turn. Now, I am going to recover a bit more. Just going to go for the Substitute. I left that one in, but I'm not taking it out now. And luckily he's paralyzed, so I'm able to make sure I do get through another one. The other good thing here is, even though we are dropping our speed, some Pokemon such as this, I will outspeed after a paralysis. Now, it is a little bit of a hard area to play with because we have dropped our own speed. If you'd like, you could run a neutral nature, but Octillery is generally slow anyway, so I probably wouldn't bother with it. Now, after a Skitter Smack, you can see we've stopped him being able to take out my Substitute in one hit. So now we're able to just hope for extra paralysis, and that would allow us to then, you know, live behind here more. Now, the Skitter Smack is dropping his special attack, and that is the reason why we're running a higher special defense. I still wanted to put a bit of defense investment in here, so we do have that little bit of versatility, but this set is mostly used to counter special attackers. So we're back in the red, but because he's not taking me out in one hit, I'm able to get more recovery off behind here, and generally we want the opponent to kind of, I don't know how to explain it, to allow us to have a couple of turns of recovery to actually recover more than we used. So this is where we hope for the paralysis to activate and everything. And unfortunately we don't, but he's out of Hydro Pump, so that's good. And it does mean that he's not doing as much damage. After a couple of Skitter Smacks, as we can see here, this thing really doesn't have a lot up its sleeve left, which is great, because now I'm able to put him into, you know, the range to take him out next turn, hoping for a paralysis, but I don't get it. He goes for a Mud Slap. I'm like, alright. And he still takes me out with that. So my Substitute must have been hanging on by the skin of its teeth there, which is fine. But I was just like, ugh, gosh, it would have been nice to have lived that, so I could have used it later. But he is paralyzed this turn, so that does mean after taking him out, the next Pokemon coming in is going to face off against a max HP Substitute, meaning as in it has not taken damage yet. So Vaporeon's down, I've got one more to deal with. Now this is, as I said, a longer section, but I really wanted to show the I guess, useful side to this set. So I got Snorlax coming in. I generally was a little worried when I saw this guy come in. I thought, I don't know how well I'm going to deal with it, but I'm able to paralyze him. So he is a slower Pokemon, so that is good. For me anyway, that I already do outspeed. He goes for the Heat Crash. It does not break my substitute, which is good, because I was surprised. I was a little worried what I'd be coming up against. But anyway, I'm finally able to make use of Octillery, and I do hit, and he gets an accuracy drop. Now, the accuracy drop is a 50% chance. It's not guaranteed, which is why I think the move needs to be 100% accuracy. If we did either make the... because it's still an okay base power move, 65. Maybe it'd be interesting if instead we got 100% drops, but then the accuracy stayed missing. Anyway, I'm going to go for another substitute. He's paralyzed. Again, that's what I was saying before. We really want to see that, because that is more turns of recovery for myself. But unfortunately, this thing over here is also recovering, and I don't like that. Then he's going to go for Protect, so she just really wants to draw this out. And I was hoping I could take him out, but I'm really sitting in a hard spot at the moment. Now, as much as he is paralyzed, it's only a, 25% chance to be paralyzed? 25 to 30, or 33 maybe, I think it was dropped to. But anyway, I'm just trying to get the accuracy down, because then there's less of a chance of him hitting me. Unfortunately, he's not missing at the moment, which is what I wanted. But I'm still managing along, but this recovery is getting annoying and it's getting longer. So generally what I thought here is this is something I generally didn't think I'd be doing with this set, but I'm actually going to get rid of my own substitute, because I am going to go for a Dynamax. Now here, luckily with the Dynamax now, I'm able to hit a lot harder, because Octillery is obviously powered up and still stabbed, plus I can get the range set up and deal with this stupid thing. But he also isn't touching me much, so this is really good. Unfortunately, he does go for a Protect, but I guess I'd rather him Protect the turn I'm setting up the rain with Max Geyser. Look, I said it right the first time. And he doesn't take much damage, but now, 1, he couldn't fully Protect, 2, it's now raining, so my next turn's going to be even stronger. But we've both got recovery as well. So my general aim here is just to do as much to this thing as I can. I thought if I could pull this win off against this Snorlax, even though I've Dynamaxed now to give me an edge, it would be nice. He is paralyzed that turn, which is even better, because now I get more recovery off with less problems. And the only thing I'm not liking is his recovery. But we're going to go for another Max Geyser, and that will be enough to take out this Snorlax, because he didn't go for a little butthole-y type of Protect again. But as you can see, this set is quite useful. Dropping the accuracy, paralyzing Pokemon, and sitting behind a substitute can be pretty fun and, annoying. Anyway, we're moving on to the next one here. Actually, I like all these sets. Anyway, so we've got to run one of these sets. So we're running Bounce, Liquidation, Seed Bomb, and Focus Energy. Now, for those who don't know, I'll get into Focus Energy in a second, but we'll get to the critical hits in a second. So anyway, running Sniper, max speed and max attack with a Jolly nature. As you can see, both are quite nice there. And then we're running Weakness Policy, because of course I have to run Weakness Policy. But before we look at the Pokemon, let me quickly go over how critical hits work. So everybody starts at level 1, which is a 4.17% chance of getting a critical hit. Then at level 2, it's 12.5, level 3 is 50, and level 4 and 5 is 100%. Now, you can raise them through all different means, but a Focus Energy gives you a double boost, so +2, taking us to the 3rd level, which is 50% critical hits. Following that section, if you wanted to add another item on that increases it, or use moves with base critical hits boosted or such, that will take you to 100%. But here we are sitting at a 50% chance, but that is still pretty good. That means 50% of our moves statistically are going to hit at a critical hit, giving our Sniper boost, which means instead of being at a 150% damage, we're at a 225% damage of a normal hit, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, if you also include the boosts from a Weakness Policy. But unfortunately, this Blossom didn't even go for me here. I went for a max Gale Storm there, and super effective. We don't even get the crit, but it's not needed, being physical. If it was special, it may have needed, but it's not. We get a speed boost off, and this is what we're looking for here with the bounce, is because we want the speed boosts so we can be outspeeding everything. I generally suggest going for 2 here, because that way you can make sure you should outspeed almost everything. A couple of Scarfed or crazy fast Pokemon might beat you, but other than that, you'll outspeed nearly everything. We're going to get hit with the Giga Drain from the Alchemy, which is awesome, because now my weakness policy can activate, and I don't have to be scared of anything else. Now, we do have, with the other 2, we have Liquidation, which I'm going for here, Max Geyser, because then I can put the rain up for any liquidations I hit following. And then we also have Seed Bomb, which if you wanted to, you'll also power up following Seed Bombs later on, and get a little bit of recovery, but the problem with that is your opponent does too. So I think generally going for the 2 I went for is fine. And now we get the Eldegoss coming in, and I was like, well, I've got Bounce. The only problem with Bounce is it has a chance of missing. But we're going to go for it anyway. We're going to spring up in the air and hopefully hit him next turn. Now, another little hint, if you're someone who does Gen or likes to go back through generations, you can actually have a Gen 3 Octillery from Fire Red Leaf Green where he does learn Seismic Toss, allowing us to boost his attack while Gigantamaxed. Anyway, that's a little sub note, but generally I wouldn't have that one here, and most of my, or all my sets generally have things coming from this generation. Anyway, as you saw, we don't miss the bounce, and then we go to sleep from Effect Spores, but we get that little sweep. Moving on to our next one again. I've shown this guy off as much as I can, but it's a little lack of what we can do. So we've got Surf, Sludge Wave, Flash Cannon, and Flamethrower. We're all 100% accuracy. And then we've got a Timid Nature with max speed, max special attack, which is what we want here. Running the Sniper just for coverage. And then we are using the item Choice Scarf. So here we are boosting our speed up by an extra 50%, taking us to about, what, 159? Which is quite nice. Again, it's an area of speed that a lot of Pokemon don't hit. So anyway, we're coming against the Lunatone here. And I was like, oh, let's see what's going to happen. Obviously, I'm going to go for the super effective move. So I go for Surf. Now, if I was running Hydro Pump, I would have taken this thing out. But I'm surprised he actually ends up living. Now, Lunatone is a specially defensive Pokemon. So he obviously must be a defensive version getting hit with a stab super effective move. So anyway, obviously I'm going to outspeed against Scarfed. I'm just going to go for the Surf and, you know, deal with the Lunatone. Now, the thing with this set is, and this is what I just wanted to show here, is generally a Scarf set can be quite good for rotating in and out to get hits off on Pokemon to kill when you want to outspeed. But generally here, I thought I'm just going to go for a Dynamax to show the versatility. Now, the good thing with this is we can set up the rain with Surf, we can boost our special attack with Sludge Wave, we can boost our defense with Flash Cannon, or with Flamethrower we can put up the Sun. Generally, the Sun isn't something you want to be putting up because then your own stab move isn't super strong, but it depends who else you're working with. Now, he ends up missing the Hammer Arm. The only reason I Dynamaxed here is I didn't want to sit around recording forever, and I just wanted to really show him off. He does outspeed me because while Dynamax, my don't believe my Scarf is activated, so he does go down there, and I get a defense boost, which is all good, but I kind of wish I stayed down small now because 2 Surfs would have taken him out after he missed, and obviously I'm going to go for the Max Geyser, but as a small guy, a Surf would take this Solrock out, unless maybe he's Assault Bested, but I would be surprised otherwise. So Solrock's going to go down there, and I've done a little work, but generally the Scarfed Octillery doesn't have too much to show. It will catch a lot of people off guard because you will outspeed more Pokemon than you and other people think, and that allows you with quite a high special attack stat to do a lot of damage. So we're on to our second half of the Octillery now, moving down. This is I like this set. Really, it is a kind of a wall breaker, and so we're running Rock Blast, Bullet Seed, Screech, and Liquidation. So Liquidation is for coverage, but the other 2 are for the reason. So we're running Sniper here. We are running a Careful Nature with max HP, max attack, and a little bit in special defense. Now, when I say a little bit, the tiny last bit. And then we're running a Scope Lens. So what a Scope Lens does, it does naturally boost your critical hit ratio to the next level. So here we'll be stepping from level 1 to 2, meaning we're at 12.5 critical hit. Percent chance for a critical hit. So just over 1 out of 10, you know? Actually, it's 1 out of 8, to be honest. So anyway, I'm going to go for Liquidation straight off the bat here. I thought this is a Colossal. I should be able to hit pretty hard. Now, he's not super defensive there, obviously, but I am also 4 times super effective and stabbed here with max attack. Now, the reason we're running max HP, not max speed, is because we're designed for wall breaking, and this Argavarg let me really let me show it off here. So now we go for the Screech, which does drop your opponent's defense by 2 stages, which then makes them at half their defense. And now we're able to go for Rock Blast here. Now, we don't have Skill Link or anything, so we're going to hit between 2 and 5 times. Unfortunately, only 2 there, but that's alright. But as you can see, we're doing alright damage against something that is super bulky. So we're going again, Rock Blast, obviously. And unfortunately, he does end up having the Citrus Berry there. That's going to put me out of range. But as you can see, that was a massive hit for a critical hit because it is 2.25 times, not 1.5. And we end up hitting 5 times, which is enough to take this thing out. So without that ability of Sniper, we would not have been able to take him out. And obviously the Screech really helped. So that just shows it off there. And then we're going to have the Appleton coming in. Now, the problem with this thing, he's bulky, but he's actually a perfect counter for what I've got. I go for the Rock Blast, but realistically, I would have been better off going for the Screech first, and then hopefully doing a large amount of damage with a boosted critical hit ratio. But he's also got Bullet Seed like me, and he's going to be doing enough damage to take me out. So unfortunately, this wall here is not what I can take down. But a lot of others we can do a lot of good work against, and we got to see it here. So I actually really like him as a wall breaker, or especially a defensive wall breaker. So anyway, our next one is another one I seem to do a lot. We're running Energy Ball, Sludge Wave, Scold, and Mudshot. Now, I really liked this one. I worked with it quite interestingly, and here we are running a Calm Nature. Now we've got 220 in HP, max special defense, and then 36 in speed. The reason we've got a bit in speed is we want to push that speed to 70 or just a little bit higher, because Mudshot does drop your opponent's speed, allowing you to drop their speed and then outspeed them the following turn. And then as you can see, we're running the Assault Vest to give us an extra 50% special defense, which is why we did make sure we maxed out special defense. So anyway, here we can show it off. So with Sludge Wave as well is a good one to carry. I like because it's got a lot of damage to it. But again, it is giving me the opportunity to boost my own special attack when I Dynamax. Starting to stutter over my own words. So anyway, I'm going to go for the Mudshot first turn just because I did want to slow him down. I didn't think he'd be too fast of a Pokemon, but I thought he would be outspeeding me. And I was correct, as you can see. Now I am outspeeding him, and well, he's going to change that now too, which is a little disappointing. I was a little annoyed with this because I was hoping to show off a little bit more of the uses of carrying Mud Bomb, but no, unfortunately not. Though the other use here, which I do not believe I get to show off here, but Mud Bomb lets me use Max Quake, which does boost your special defense, which means you're going to be taking even less damage from special attacks. Here, I just thought this is taking too long, and I want to get rid of this thing, so I'm just going to go for the Dynamax this early, and that's fine too. Now, not all these sets, there are sets, like a lot of the sweepers, which are designed to, more often than not, utilize Dynamaxing, but even this one and a couple of the other more defensive ones aren't necessarily designed to be used as a Dynamax all the time, but do have moves, like I said here with Sludge Wave, that do utilize Dynamaxing. So anyway, I'm able to take this thing out. Again, it's a little shame that he did drop my speed again, because I would have outsped this turn as well, but what do you do? So anyway, we've got the Mudsdale coming in, and I was like, alright, well, he must have very minimal to deal with. But he goes for the Protect. I'm like, oh yay, just slow me down. I just want to show things off. But again, I'm not too annoyed at this because I should be able to take him out the following turn, if not this turn, but I doubt it behind a Protect. And yeah, there's no way he's living next turn, but he wasn't living this one. And but he does outspeed me thanks to the stupid Icy Wind, which is again annoying. And I'm able to take out the Mudsdale. Now, if you want to see where Josh makes stupid mistakes, watch the next minute or two, because we'll see it. But we're going to bring in the Wishcash here. Now, we all know I'm carrying Energy Ball. This is a one-shot kill section most likely. But here I am just trying to get recordings done while multitasking and not paying enough attention that I went for Scold here. Didn't burn him, but did just over under half. So I thought, cool. Okay, let's see. I ended up living a Scold from him as well in the rain, which was cool. But the dickhead, me, went for another Scold. And unfortunately, if I burnt him first turn, we would have been a lot closer. But I am so stupid. I am just so annoyed at myself here. So... without the speed drop too, I could have even mud bombed him one of the two and then outsped him. But here I left that in on purpose so you could see that I could have killed him with Energy Ball if some idiot used it earlier. I couldn't believe that because the Assault Vest would have really paid off. Well, it did still, but it would have been really, really good to show off there. But we're down to our last three. Again, these are in no particular order, but these are the ones that I thought of later. So here we are running Wrap, Rock Blast, Bullet Seed, and Attract. Now, we are running an Adamant Nature. We are running max HP. We put 92 into attack and 164 into speed because we really do want to be outspeeding things for this set. We have Sniper, as you can see, and then King's Rock because we're trying to make people flinch. Now, I want to do one little thing here. I'm running Wrap and Attract because I want to attract people and, you know, stick them into battle. But I would suggest that Thunder Wave and or Mudshot would work really well too because then by outspeeding you get the flinch chances more. I think Thunder Wave probably is the best one to go over Attract and you can still keep Wrap for chip damage. But me being me, I've just really wanted to run it this way. But if you want to use this set and you're not trying to be trolly against people as much as that, then go for the Thunder Wave because then you do get the speed drop plus the chance of them not attacking from it. So anyway, this Hitmontop's going to go for Endeavour, which is a little bit annoying because, you know, my HP is higher than his being, you know, max, but I can work with it. Now, the good thing is that with my King's Rock, with Rock Blast or Bullet Seed, I do have a boosted chance of, like, each turn, each hit, I should say, has a chance of flinching. Now, I missed the Wrap the first turn, so I'm going to go for it the second turn. But flinching is only worthwhile if you're outspeeding, and this Hitmontop is outspeeding me, which is where I said, let's say I wasn't running this, he may have hit me more by not being infatuated with me and not being able to attack, but he would have been slower, so I could have had the chance to flinch. But I really do love running the attract trolliness of it, so please do consider that if you ever try this set out. Anyway, the Wrap's going to do a bit of damage. Unfortunately, not quite enough to take him out, which is a bit of a shame. So I was like, come on, don't hit me. And he doesn't. I was really worried about the Endeavour there. But anyway, I go for the Bullet Seed. Now, the reason as well is with Bullet Seed and Rock Blast, I believe Bullet Seed has a small chance to miss. So if you have a choice between both neutral, you can go for the Rock Blast. Anyway, Nucleus coming in. And I was really happy about this because I was like, sweet, I can now outspeed something and show if I can get it. So I hit Bullet Seed 3 times in a row. Sorry, Bullet Seed doesn't miss, Rock Blast does. So I don't get it, but he goes for a light screen. I was like, cool, because it's not obvious I'm using physical moves at this point. And I'm able to go for it again. Now, I could have gone for the Wrap to get chip damage. Obviously, Attract ain't going to work because, you know, Pokemon don't allow that. I get a critical hit, so use of Sniper as well at that 4.17% chance. And I'm just going to keep shooting seeds, which I think look really cool coming from Octillery. I end up hitting 5 times, which is great because I even get the flinch off there on Nucleus, which is good because he probably was going to set up a Reflect, and that was a bit of a worry there. So anyway, I get at least 3 hits, which is enough, and take that thing down with only giving him the chance to do 1 attack, which virtually did nothing to stop me here. So anyway, the Drapian's going to come in here, and this is where, because it's a female Drapion, I cannot go for the Attract. So I went for the Rock Blast, and there you go, Rock Blast misses, and I'm going to get Throat Chopped and taken out there. Well, not this turn, but the following turn, because I went for the Rock Blast. It's not a massive amount of damage, so an Attract or Thunder Wave would have been quite good to use here, but I had no access to Attract due to the fact we're the same gendered Pokemon. But anyway, as you saw, that wasn't going to work out, but you got to see that one in use. Now we're on to the last 2. Both of these are designed for double battles. So this one here is running Helping Hand, Icy Wind, Mudshot, and Acid Spray. Now, Mudshot and Icy Wind obviously both drop your speed, but one gives hits both, one hits only one. Now, we are a bold nature with max defense, max special defense, because we really want those defenses, and our HP is okay. And we're running the Arguave Berry because we want that recovery. Now, Acid Spray is an egg move, but I think it's actually quite good because it actually drops their special defense by 2 stages, whoever gets hit, meaning that they're at half their special defense after 1 hit, and if you hit them twice, they go down to a quarter. So it can work really well. Now, please do note these double teams of this battle and the next one that we'll put together were just kind of put together with an idea in mind from what I already had. They were not designed specifically to go with the sets. So I just wanted to go for the Giga Drain on Octillery. I could have gone for the Helping Hand to make sure we did more damage, but I didn't know how much more we would need to do. So I was happy just to go for the Acid Spray on Octazalt to try and deal with it. The only problem here is I bought a Hail Setter in, and I bloody am the only one who's going to get hurt from it at this stage. So anyway, I went for the Helping Hand. I got then hit with a Zen Headbutt. I do take it fairly well, which is fine. And I'm able to go for the Blizzard. Now, the reason I really went for this is I wanted to make sure I could take out Arctivish with a Helping Hand and do as much damage on Arctazalt as I could, which actually worked out well. He ended up then, hitting a Bomber Snow with the Avalanche, which is good, because I didn't want Octillery to take any more damage yet. So we're going to get Cinderace coming in. I was like, I wonder who he's going to try and hit. So he's going to take out a Bomber Snow, and that's fine. And the reason that is fine, I thought he would, and I generally wanted to aim for the Cinderace more than I did the Arctazalt, especially because Arctazalt was using moves that were, doubling in damage if he'd taken damage. So if I just avoid him, these moves are going to do quite little, as you can see here. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy. Plus, Cinderace is now going to take damage from the Hail as well as me. But the good thing is that I have the opportunity now to drop Cinderace's speed and try and control it a bit more. Unfortunately, I don't have any massive speed users yet on the team. And so, yeah. So anyway, Weezing ends up flinching there, which sucks because I wanted to miss a Zap Cannon and get my Blunder Policy. But we don't get that. I go for another one. Cinderace is going to pop his Citrus Berry. At least I think it's a Citrus. And, yeah. And but his speed is dropping, so I'm hoping to outspeed. Unfortunately, Weezing didn't get to attack, which is a little bit annoying because he hasn't had a chance. But as you can see here from the way it works, that we can control opponent's speed with 2 different moves. As I said, Mud Bomb does more damage, which is why I like to carry it. Plus, sometimes you only need to control 1 Pokemon's speed, so you don't have to go for a weaker move. We're able to take out the Octazalt there with a Flamethrower. I did, as you can see, my Weezing then did outspeed the Cinderace there, which would have been a cool opportunity to also take out Cinderace, but I really wanted to keep doing what I was doing there. And he missed anyway, so it was fine. But those 2 drops allow my Weezing to outspeed Cinderace, which is pretty cool when we haven't got an activation from our Blunder Policy. So all we have to do with is this Salazzle. I've got one more in the back, and for an annoying reason, it's going to go for a Protect. But as you can see, I'm just throwing out the Zap Cannon and the Mud Bomb, being that Mud Bomb is 4 times super effective. So I could have gone for a Helping Hand, but that's fine. And also, as you saw from the Hail helping, well, not necessarily helping, but knocking me down, my Arguave Berry is going to activate, and that did very little damage to me. I do a lot of damage there, but that's fine because it's going to make sure he's in range to be taken out by the Mud Bomb. And as you can see, even though I was running max defenses and no attack investments, we still do have decent base attack and special attack. So anyway, we're on to our final one, which I really wanted to show off here. And this is, I'll get to why this one's here. But anyway, we're running Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Water Spout, which is the key move here, and Sludge Wave. Now, I really wanted to use Water Spout, but it's a move that has base 150 attack, but it goes down in power as your HP drops. So I'm running max HP, max special attack with a Quiet Nature. I'm running Sniper, obviously, for the boosted hits from critical hits. And we're running Choice Specs. Now, a Choice or a Banded Octillery will always hit hard, and they're a general set, so I wasn't going to come up with them. But I then really wanted to show off Water Spout at its best. So you could either try and outspeed things, or in a smarter way like this, we can try and be slower than everybody else and go for a Trick Room, which is generally what I wanted to show here. So the Cherrim's going to go for a Protect, which is fine. I just really didn't care. Araquanid's going to go for the Rain Dance, so I actually could have just bought Octillery in first turn, but I'm sure this Cherrim probably would have attacked Octillery first turn, and that wasn't worth it. So the general reason here is I just have this Corsola to cause as much damage to the opponents as possible, which is only one of them, which is just over half, and I'm happy with that. And then go down so I can then use the Octillery on the following turn once the Trick Room is set up. Now, the other option, you could easily run a very slow U-turn Pokemon or something, but this Octillery works fine like this. So I'm just going to go for the Nasty Plot with the Aromatisse because I generally don't want to use it at this stage. I want to do as much as I can with Octillery's Water Spout. Now this is Specs, Stab, and Boosted by the Rain, and not only do we take out our Araquanid there from half HP even though it's resisted, we also take out the Cherrim from full HP while it's resisted. So that was so good. I wasn't sure I'd even get that, and I was lucky enough to. Now this is, as I said, big powerful move, Stab, and Specs, so it's doing well, plus Boosted by the Rain. So anyway, Clefable's going to go for the Follow Me. Now we've got to remember Clefable is always annoyingly bulky, so I was interested to see how well we do. I didn't care about the Center Scorch. I knew he was going to go down as soon as he's touched by this thing, but I'm going to go for another Water Spout. Again, doing so much damage to both. Clefable ends up living there on the small amount of HP, but that did not stress me because that still did massive damage, really, really putting its worth in. So I'm going to go for the Draining Kiss the next turn just from the Aromatisse just to get rid of this thing. We didn't need to see Water Spout again. Now, I do have Sludge Wave, Flamethrower, and Ice Beam that I can also use, and Sludge Wave would be also worth it with Specs in a Trick Room team with maybe a Bronzong or something, because then it's resisted and you still hit both. But it doesn't matter what you use, you will hit hard with a Specs or a banded Octillery, but I thought their general sets I wasn't going to do them too much. But when I saw Water Spout, I had to utilize that one. So that is all with our Octilleries this week. And that's really cool because I wanted to utilize it all. But guys, I do have a little special for you, which is this little bonus. Now, why we have a bonus, you say? Well, because we've got to think about Remoraid. And let me tell you, Remoraid has no way to have suction cups. So let me get there. We have Gunk Shot, Seed Bomb, Waterfall, and Bounce. Now, we are running an Adamant Nature with max HP, max attack, and a little bit in speed. Now, as you can see down below, we have a Hustle ability which boosts our attack stat by an extra 50%, but does lower our accuracy. Then we're running a Blunder Policy because of the fact that we are hoping to make a miss, and then we get the speed boost. Now, you could, if you wanted, try and run it with max speed, max attack, and you may be able to go for a Focus Sash instead. But I generally think what we're running here works quite well. Now, you could run other things with it, but generally here, I used to run Attract on it, but I did swap it out because I wanted to keep it going. So I do miss the Gunk Shot first turn, which is fine to give me the Blunder Policy boost. But I really wanted to see myself one-shot this thing straight out the window. Or out the door, straight off the bat. Either way, right at the start. Unfortunately, that happens. But now that I have got my Blunder Policy activation, I can Dynamax because I still get the boosts from Hustle. But I cannot miss an attack now, which was good. And as much as it's behind a substitute, I thought just in case it comes out with a really, really strong move, I can make sure I definitely have the chance to live it at, double my full HP. But I'm able to also set up the rain by taking out the substitute. So I was pretty happy with that. And, Hatterene sub's going to fade. All I was expecting a Psychic or something. But as I said, I got the rain set up, so I'm going to be hitting harder. Then it goes for a Nuzzle, and I was like, oh, piss off. So that will definitely put a damper on, my speed, because as much as I still outspeed this thing, even with the Blunder Policy activation, as soon as you're paralyzed, my speed isn't a god tier speed, and I haven't got much investment in speed. I've got like 4 IVs in it, so it's It's not going to be crazy good, but we're still not going to be the worst. We do obviously get outspared by a Swoobat, who's going to go for a trick, gosh knows why, because he gives me a Flame Orb, but that still allows me to go for another Max Geyser. And did I say Geisha earlier? I bet you I did. Either way, I take out the Swoobat there, and that thing is going down, so bye Swoobat. And I only have one Pokemon left to deal with, which I was excited to, and that is the Xatu. Now, I could have gone for a Max, Airstream, sorry, to boost my own speed. I keep forgetting Max moves as soon as that. I do live that one, but I'm paralyzed! And I was like, God damn it, if I wasn't paralyzed and hit the waterfall there, I would have killed him. I 100% would have killed this thing, and unfortunately Remaraid's going down there. But that did give me a little option, well, a little window there just to show you how it works. And it's a fun set. I've used him multiple times, and he can usually gain a kill or two. And I think the Blunder Policy really works well with Hustle. But anyway, guys, now we are at the end of the video. I've really enjoyed bringing you these. I've got another one in my plan in my head, but it does take me time to breed all these Pokemon, train them up. I've got to make sure I have the Dynamax candies or get help from people. Shout out, thank you, Beanard, for that one today, this time. And it takes a lot of movement. You know, I end up getting sucked in like this Octillery. I didn't know how many I'd make, but with such a large move pool and both attack and special attack high, I ended up at 10 and just said, that's enough. You're stopping, Joshua, because you need to. Now, as you can see, I probably did more special real sweeping type of sets, but you can run both. He has a lot, and as I said, I didn't do a banded set, but it's pretty simple to do one. There are a lot of moves that he can make use of, but I really enjoyed this. And if there is a Pokemon you'd like to see from these, definitely pop it in the comment section down below. I have a couple in mind that I'm going to get to, but I've come up with my next one. Also, don't forget that a like really helps these ones out to get around, and I think they are quite useful if you are looking for a different idea. And sometimes people have come in and said, I like this one, but I think I'm going to use this or this on it instead. And that's great. Sometimes just looking at someone's set sparks ideas of how you can manipulate it to fit in the team you have in front of you. Also, guys, don't forget, if you like this content, or any of the other stuff I do, whether Pokemon battles or a lot of my VODs or other things I do, then you are able to subscribe to my channel down below. And I guess that is really appreciative, because I'm pushing 900 at the point of recording this and hoping to make 1,000 by the end of the year. But we'll see what happens. So anyway, guys, until my next video, I'll see ya.